from when PC Tunney and I recorded earlier, and we're back. We're back to talk about what we just witnessed, the 2026 Royal Rumble. Just finished up about 10, 15 minutes ago. We're going to break down the event for you guys here today and try and do this in about an hour because one of us has got better things to do than hang out with. Yeah, exactly. Than hang out with us. Let me go around the horn here. I like it's Hollywood Squares. Yeah, like the two Grand El Grande Americanos earlier tonight. But let me go around the room, so to speak, and welcome into the show. Of course, I'm welcoming in my bestie in all of podcasting, the one and only PC Tunney. Tunney, anything changed in the last few hours? You still look relatively sober, so I'm impressed.
What's up, Doc?
That's right.
Nice.
Changed his hat, that sort of thing. Um, Glad you're here. The man who has a hard out today is the one and only
For
Raymond S.
good reason.
Cashington Esquire.
For
For a
good
good reason. He's
reason.
going to go
Yeah.
see a movie with his kids.
With his kids.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Ray, how you doing, buddy?
You good dad. You asshole. You good dad.
Thank you. I know, right? How
You
dare I?
are. You're a
Hi
nice guy,
guys.
Ray.
I'm a bit deflated. We'll talk.
All right.
We are all a bit deflated. I would hazard a guess as we
Do you
get
want a
through
hug?
here.
Do you want a hug? Come on in. Come
I
on, I'll
want to
give you
hug
a
some
hug.
dad.
Come on.
Fuck
Oh,
it.
you
I
want
want
just
to
want a
hug.
Jameer Gibbs hug. Don't even start with that shit. Chair shot.
I want a hug
Fantasy
from
football
Dad
league.
too.
Anyway.
Oh boy. Um, Also, welcoming into the show, we gotta, Tony, see if you can't
I
find
don't
where
know.
this
I don't
thing
know
is
how I
actually.
did it.
There's
I
a
don't know
bunch
how
of
I did
people
it.
online.
Not sure how I
Yeah,
did it.
we,
Send a flower basket to the Dillinator.
yeah. While you may be disappointed in the surprises at the Royal Rumble today, as we will discuss in just a minute, you will not be disappointed by this surprise coming into the show, flying in here off of the magic carpet ride. You know, we didn't think we were going to get him, but we've got him here. The scientist himself, the one and only DPP. What's up, DPP?
To
We
play
got
it
a
anyway.
soundboard
right.
tonight too.
And here,
I'm
and
gonna
here,
take
and
this.
here, I was so excited too. One of the commercials that we got to see during the Royal Rumble, I know PC was very excited. Me being a video game guy, WWE 2K26 coming out, and if you pre-order, PC can get his boy Joe Hendry.
I hope you listened to last week's DWI podcast with Ray on because it's going to be the last one ever. We're not stopping until at least 1,000. We've committed. So there you go.
Very least, only 492,
Don't count.
493 episodes
don't,
ago.
don't count. Don't. It's way too early to count. You gotta know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Sorry, Dave. It's your
One guy
show.
who
I
knew, somebody who
apologize.
knew when to fold them, and that's
Uh
Big
oh.
Dave. He already knew
Oh,
when to fold it.
we lost Dave. He's
Introduced
gone.
me and
We're
said
gonna keep
goodbye.
going. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep
He had
going.
enough.
Just in case. I think everybody's still listening. We're gonna keep going. He's probably still there somewhere in the ethosphere. Um, enjoyment level overall. Oh, first, you know what? Let's talk about this. How crazy was it that the stadium was empty for like the first two matches and they slowly so like I didn't know that all the 80s and 90s and early 2000s San Francisco 49er fans had migrated to Saudi Arabia because that's what used to happen with the Niners. Their fans wouldn't show up till the second quarter on TV and they'd talk about it. But this was kind of ridiculous. Now, I'll give you the fact that they had the it's kind of like Intuit where they have lights behind all the seats so they can do the kind of cool flashing thing. So a lot of the times you see when it's empty, it just looks white, so it's hard to see the people there. But man, this stadium was empty for like a good half of the first part of the show, Ray.
So maybe, and I am the only member of this current group that does not have glasses on. It didn't look empty to me. It looked like the lights were just overshadowing the way the seats were.
Well, I'll
And
tell
I
you
and I'll
at
give you
least
an example. I'll give you a perfect example of what my point. There was a in midway through the women's rubber Royal Rumble match, they turned the lights off and you could actually see the people.
okay. Was that it then? Maybe they were
I
there
had that.
early because they had mentioned that they were known for showing up late, Dan.
Yeah, I was bringing up that same thing the Dillinator and I were watching. I'm like, is this stadium like empty? Are they not there yet, or what's going on, or how far away are concessions or something? Because it was like it didn't look like people were there. And all of a sudden, and we started looking, and it was like,
so we got so Dave, you're
we
back
could finally
here.
see heads.
You're back on the broadcast. We just kept going. I think
guess.
everything still worked live there. A weird little glitch. So I just kind of started us off with how empty the stadium looked to begin with, and then mentioned like they had the lights behind them, and I guess Dan saw that in a different lighting, it looked full the whole time. So they did different shots throughout the time, kind of showing you, and I think it was known like worldwide that it looked empty. I think that's what it seemed like, but that lighting is kind of like into it.
Well, I'll say this, that and hopefully you guys hear me okay, or
yeah, we're all good. We're all good. We just lost you for those couple minutes. So
yeah, I'm sure
we just rolled right into exactly what I explained.
So I know, to get to the point about a crowd, Patrick was texting me because Patrick broke his ban on watching Saudi shows, and he actually watched the Saudi Arabian show.
Can I read something live for you, Dave? I'm sorry.
Sure.
John Cena has posted, "Phenomenal is an understatement. Respect is earned, and few are more worthy of universal industry-wide respect than AJ Styles. Thank you, AJ, for all you've done for wrestling, from anyone who's seen you and those lucky enough to share the canvas with you." That is a live, looks like social media post by John Cena directed to AJ Styles, as I got the post-show playing here in the background. Sorry to interrupt, Dave, but I thought that would be a cool drop-in as I saw it.
No, that's okay. That is a dynamite drop-in, Monty. So that would actually...
That broadcast school's fucking paying off, bitches!
Dynamite drop-in, Monty. That broadcast school has really paid off.
It really has.
Spades.
Patrick was texting me during the event saying that, he thought it was really cool that they built the stadium in 30 days for it to be half full at the time of the Royal Rumble. And I thought, it's tough. Yeah, I don't know. Like when you look at it, it's like they've got this weird ass lighting on these seats, right? That really makes it difficult. It's like somebody sitting there, or is that an empty seat? So if it is an empty seat, then they've got some serious things to work out before WrestleMania next year, because you cannot have an event of this magnitude in a half empty stadium where everybody in the United States is bitching and complaining and saying, what the fuck? Why did we get cut out of this just for money? There's a lot of things about this event that Triple H just flat out got fucking wrong that we'll get into. But
Dave,
go ahead.
I just want to say, I just wanted to bring that up because I know people were talking about this the whole time about it, and I wanted us to touch on it. But like, maybe those lights are there for a reason, because they know they're perpetual for being, like, they mentioned it during the beginning of the show that this crowd is habitually late to showing up. Like
night.
It's
not today. That was last night. Yeah.
Was that last night?
Yeah.
Okay, it was last night. Okay, then I got confused because I watched that this morning, Ray. I watched
SmackDown
this morning.
Let me quell some of these fears.
As Platt would say.
Let me quell some of these fears. First and foremost,
quell.
I am of the belief.
You want to use your own fancy word?
Quell away. Quell away. Jay Quellen. Jay Quellen. Go do it.
We know a Jay Quellen, DP. That's the general's wife, Jay Quellen.
I am of the belief that it was full the whole time, because those lights, if you're going to build a stadium and you're going to want it to be the best of the best, if you watch the entrances were amazing because the lighting all over the stadium was able to do stuff, right? Kind of Thunderdome-esque. But the lights, if you look at the structure of the seats, were above the seating. So it looked, and they were white most of the time. They weren't being used for the entrances. So it looked like nobody was there. And like I mentioned to Tony just a second ago, when they turned the lights off midway through the first Royal Rumble of the Women's, I guess Lee Fitting realized we can't see shit. Then you could actually see the people. And to your point, Dave, if by any chance this was a late thing or nobody was there have been 11 Saudi shows? Every single one, they've been bursting out the scenes of people.
Yeah,
that's the least thing I'm worried about is filling the stadium, which is why I believe
makes it weird
fervently that it was full the whole time. It just was bad.
If it was, then I think we can all agree it's a bad optic that's going on there that makes it look like it's half empty. You got to fix that, right?
Either problem needs to be fixed by April.
Next year
of 2020.
And all of that involved another point of proof. The crowd was extremely loud the entire time,
They were. You're right,
and
Ray.
you can tell when a
Yeah.
crowd's mic'd and when a crowd is natural. That was actual loud, natural sound.
Yeah, they
So
were they
yeah,
were they were they were a good crowd. There were some obviously dead moments. That always is
There
going
were
to
a
happen
couple
in any of these
times where
events.
they piped in some sound to direct them in
Yeah.
the direction they wanted them
Um,
to go. I noticed.
Now I don't know. I mean, is WrestleMania going to be in the same stadium? I mean, at
No, they're
25,000
gonna do
people for
something.
Mania.
No, they're gonna.
That
They
place is going
gotta.
to be a parking
Well,
lot in an hour.
well, that's according to
Falafel House or some
that's
shit.
according
I
to
don't know.
CM Punk. CM Punk hoped Becky bombed so bad in the Royal Rumble that the place would go back to a parking lot.
He got his wish.
Good
He got
reference,
his
Dan.
wish.
No, you would have to think. Here's the thing about going to Saudi though. Like I heard this stadium held what 18,000.
25 is what they were
25. Yeah.
saying.
That's it though. But it
That's
doesn't
This
it.
matter.
stadium that they just
It
built?
doesn't. It doesn't
one they
matter.
just built.
It doesn't matter over there though. They're not. They're making money differently than they would anywhere else when they go over there. So it doesn't matter. It's however they want it. Really, they're paying for it to have it however they want it, and they've paid for it.
Yes.
I had
but
forgotten when
when
they
you-
announced that when they opened the show. I'd forgotten that they were going to be there next year for Mania.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first Big Four pay-per-view that they PLE, whatever the hell you want to call it, that they've actually done over there. So it's going to be judged under the harshest crucible possible. I mean, I think that's a fair statement. There's no way to avoid that. Let's get into some different things other than the crowd. But I think what I wanted to talk before we talk about what happened is stuff that didn't happen. And I think at this point, if anybody is out here and you're still buying Triple H's bullshit when he says we got all these surprises happening, stop, because you're just being gullible, because that is not happening. He says that every time. Hardly anything happens. Hardly. I mean, what were the surprises we got tonight? Brie Bella returning,
That's a big surprise.
marginally cool. It was a surprise
Called it.
because her husband's still in
Called
AEW.
it. Called it.
Yeah.
Well, she was
Um,
retired, so that's
but
also
Yeah.
part of it.
Well, I mean, and it does. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
going to
Bell was for me.
and it is going to bolster the women's tag team division, which is already red hot anyway. But now you got the Bella twins are back and that sort of thing. But on the med side, Powerhouse Hobbs, and then they changed his name on stage as it happened.
How do you feel about
It's like-
that?
I just think it's dumb. I don't know why
Really?
you had to change his name. Powerhouse Hobbs would have been.
Because he asked for his
no,
name
not
to be
his.
changed.
Did he? Okay.
The name Royce is the name of his son.
I'm surprised
okay.
that
Well,
they
that's-
showed.
that's fine.
I think Dave's bringing up the
like
point
that.
of he's surprised that they showed the name Powerhouse Hobbs.
They do that
Yeah.
all the time. They do it for almost every.
Well, they did
wrestler.
with Ricky Starks. Ricky
They
Starks.
did it with Matt
just like-
Cardona. They did it with Finn Balor. They did it with Kenta. They do it with everybody. It's a way to get a pop, so you know this is who this wrestler was, and this is his new name. They do it for all of them.
The
This is not a one-off. We just don't
The
think
big-
about it because they don't get people changing their name that often. We had a good run for a good while where people were signed and kept their name.
Yeah, I think the big surprise that didn't happen, of course, is Chris Jericho returning, and I'm actually hoping that this just puts to rest any notion or these rumors that he's coming back to WWE, because like, who gives a shit at this point? He'll come back, he'll get in the Hall of Fame, but at this point, I would expect him to go back to AEW and show up there, because if you're going to bring him back, this was the place to do it. It didn't happen.
He could
So
still
I
be. He could still be the Monday.
They don't want
I
him.
don't think.
They-
Yeah, I don't think that. I just think that it was a lot of people with wishful thinking that he would come back and they'd mend fences and all that sort of stuff. So I would expect him. You already had Tommaso Ciampa show up in AEW. I would not rule out AJ Styles showing up in AEW.
There's
at this
no way.
point.
No.
TNA.
I'll cut my
No,
hair off if he
God,
goes
no,
AEW.
he's not doing that.
TNA.
I'll
He's
cut my
gonna
hair
do
off.
it.
No, why would he go to
I'm
AEW?
listening.
He could have
I'll-
stayed in WWE and had whatever he
I will-
wanted.
I will cut my hair off on this fucking
He's-
show if he goes to AEW.
I think
There's
PC
no
Tunney
way.
had it when we were talking on DWI last time, where he might go to TNA for a run because he didn't put his gloves down. When he didn't put his gloves down or whatever to walk out of the ring and say,
Right.
I'm done. Like
Yeah.
that made me think like, okay, he's got some kind of other run to finish his story or whatever. And going back to TNA makes a lot more sense.
And he also
Maybe
said
a-
Monday that I'm retiring from the WWE this year.
Right.
He never said retiring from wrestling.
I could see him going to TNA, maybe a run in Japan. That wouldn't be bad to do something
That'd be good too.
there
He
one
can't do
last time
Japan
before it's.
Just TNA.
because of the AEW thing. Unless
Hmm.
AEW is a destination, he can't do it.
Well, I guess we'll see. But on the Chris Jericho front, yeah, I know there's people disappointed because he didn't show up. I was like, whatever, what's he really going to add to anything at this point in time? I would hope, but who knows? I would
You know
hope he
what,
would go
Dave?
back to AEW and do some stuff there. But he got
It's
himself into shape for all this stuff, and then like, what's the point?
Here's the funny thing though. Like I still think it could be a Monday Night Raw thing. Um, I don't. I'm okay. I'll be fine either way with it. I've
Yeah,
said my piece about this a long time. But here's the thing: as me and you were messaging a lot during the Rumble, and as we got into the 20s, I thought about like when does Jericho show up, and like who was left. He would look really bad in the ring with a lot of those guys. Like if it's just one of those guys and it's one-on-one match, that's one thing. But when there's three or four other guys that look way fucking better than you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, and you're
And
supposed to be this memory from back then. It just doesn't compute, right?
and
So I don't know. I mean, what if Jericho shows up on NXT? What if he has a little NXT run to close out his
he
career?
could be in
well,
TNA as well.
That
Sorry,
could
go ahead.
happen.
to what you just said, Tony. Add to this. We just saw Tiffany Stratton come back tonight, right? She's been healthy for a while. Why was she on TV? Because
Because of
Triple H
Khali
had the
Raw.
wherewithal to not
Yeah.
throw her on TV without something to do.
Yep.
Yes, the Rumble's about nostalgia and surprises, but if you bring Jericho back tonight, that means you should expect to have something for him to do Monday, and the next Monday, and the next Monday, or Friday, and the next Friday, and the next Friday. If you don't, it's the right decision to not have him because you just bringing him for a
Yeah.
pop, and that's not the type of legend that gets a pop and then goes away. If Jericho coming, he gonna put in work for the time he's there.
Yeah, let's switch over to the women's rumble and talk about that. And again, somebody who didn't return, who a lot of us were anticipating not only to return but win, was Bianca Belair, which tells me that there may be something more involved with her than we're anticipating. Because um, I know she's been out hurt for a while, and maybe that is just really
He's
healing
having
slowly.
Texas, baby,
So she needs to go do that.
baby. I
What
think
did I
Ray might
tell
have been
y'all?
onto it.
So she broke her knuckle, right? And so a knuckle just won't. It's got to heal when it heals. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 months. It's got to heal when it heals. And they won't let her wrestle with it because your hands are so intrinsically important in a
Right,
wrestling ring, right? So she's
right.
been off the whole time because it's if you look at her, some days you'll see her without the little finger cast. Some days you'll see her on it with it on. So that bitch still broke. Like I told the Milwaukee boys the other day, just go have a baby. You want to do it? You've been out a year. Go have your baby. Enjoy a year and a half off, and then come back and be the superstar you were. But you just
Yeah,
taking all this time off for nothing.
yeah. Um,
You don't need your finger to procreate.
DP, let me go to you first. Your thoughts on the women's Royal Rumble match? Obviously, Liv Morgan gets the win. I think like we said, we talked about the only surprise really was Brie Bella. What were your takeaways from the women's Rumble match? Who impressed you? Who left you flat? I I wasn't that impressed with it. It got better at the end, I thought, but I don't know, man. The women's rumble has always been a little bit iffy for me because some of it's good and a lot of it's not. But go ahead, Dan.
The two big standouts for me, Lash Legend. Obviously,
Yeah,
they did a great job of showing how dominant she is and is going to be the next big thing for the women's division. And I think that was fantastic because they started that back on Survivor Series and War Games with her, showing what she can do, and then coming out here and just kind of dominating the Rumble, in my opinion. Like was they did that, I thought, really well and showed off how great she can be, and I think she's going to be, sky's the limit. I don't know how soon they put her in the top title division or whatever, but man, they made her look like $1 million, and that was awesome. The other thing for me, for the women's, was the timing of the entrance. Uh, So after first couple, I think it was the first 8 entrants went through, I went to the Dillionaire and said, they're not going every minute 30. Like they're way off. And
They're going.
she's
when
like,
the
okay. So
spot's
she
done.
started timing it. What's
They're
that?
going
Hold on.
when the spot is done. They did.
Yeah.
Hold on.
the whole-
Dan's
they did it
about
the
to give
whole
us the
night.
science. He's going to give
Yeah.
us the science behind this, Tony. Go ahead.
I'll
What
say
did
the
Dillionaire
2
come
minutes,
up
2
with?
minutes and 54 seconds was the longest one. Cause yeah, they had to wait
Wow.
for the spot to be done. And at all those different times. And there was way more than a minute 30 on all of the entrants. And the longest one took almost double the amount of time because they had to get through the spot that they wanted to do for the eliminations and to show something. And that's how far they were off. And that's just so weird. And like, I get that, whatever. But there's this whole timing thing of every minute. I guess they don't say it anymore, but it was every minute 30. This is when you get a new entrant, every minute 30 or whatever. And it was
Do they?
every 2 minutes, every blah, blah, blah. They don't say it anymore, but that's
Right.
what it was. It used to be,
There is-
it used to be 2, then it was a minute 30. Now they really didn't, they never said it, but to us, right? It was always like a minute 30 and there's a new entrant coming. And now it's like, who the fuck knows? Like, oh, wait till the spot's over. And then right when you see that eliminated come up, we were like, okay, 10 seconds is going to show up right after that little image that says eliminated because their spot's over with. And now they can do it. And I'm like, all right, that's a little awkward to me. I mean, as a purist of the show, I was a little taken back by that.
I
This
don't
well
blame you.
actually moment has been brought to you by DPP.
No, I think
Ram
DP.
trucks.
I think DP.
This Ram Trucks
DP
elimination.
You should suck it up. It's the right way to do it. That's perfect. Why should you screw everything up? Like, especially, I'm sorry, but like, especially on the women's side, did you guys see some of the shit that they were doing in there? Like, Maxine looked great again. I mean, there was some really bad things going on. I'm gonna call it out whenever I see it from whoever I see it from, but it wasn't good. I'll tell you this though,
Yeah.
I was highly entertained by the Women's Royal Rumble, and I'm okay with going by the spot or whatever you have going on there. Like, let's not paint ourselves into a corner. I use that all the time. Leave yourself open to do what you need to do, and certain entrances and certain things are going to be better than others. Now, does that time include the entrance? Some sprint, some walk, some can't sprint, right? So there's a gigantic ramp, but I'll tell you what, I thought the Women's Royal Rumble was excellent.
Also, that bullshit will they won't they friendship stuff at the beginning with Charlotte and Alexa took
Oh,
up
that was
way
great.
more time than it needed to.
Oh, that was so good though.
It would have been cool if it was half the time.
Haterade.
They had to waste a minute. What do you want to turn into? Like,
Yeah.
you want to make that one shorter?
But that set the precedent, didn't it?
Ray,
how
Ray,
to
what are
do
your
this.
overall
How does
what are
it
your
like
overall
this?
yeah, what are your overall
that?
thoughts on the women's rumble match, Ray?
I think it was better than the men's. I think this is the
Okay.
only Rumble that it got the right winner. I think it got the right story all throughout. So there were 3 major stories I noticed in the Rumble. Was the disillusion of the Joshis, particularly with Kyrie and Asuka. The tag teams kind of teaming up and going at each other, add the balance to that. And then, of course, the dissolution of the Judgment Day. Liv was my pick going forward, and she did exactly what I thought she would do, which is be slimy like the whore that she is, and I mean whore with all the love and respect
Wow.
of the character.
I don't know if
The
you can
character's whore.
say whore with love
The
and
character's a
respect,
whore.
Ray.
The character's a
God
whore.
damn.
Raymond.
Her character is a whore,
S.
and she's playing it
Cashington.
fantastically. She's playing it fantastically.
The
fine,
74,000.
What the hell did you just say?
Whore.
What the
Capital
hell
J,
did you just say?
whore.
Who are? What?
But no, she did it
Do
fantastically.
you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
She won in the
Oh,
manner
it's
she
funny
should
when
have
Dan
won.
does it, but when I used to do it, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
so,
science.
All right. Touchdown. Tony, I already got your thoughts on it. You thought the Rumble was excellent. It was fine in my opinion. I was a lot of it was good, some of it not so much. My girl Sol Ruka though, final three man, she is another big star in the making, and I love the double soul snatcher, and of course and that was one of the better book parts. It made sense that that's how she was going to get eliminated. I'm like, Soul, you're going to try and do like a soul snatcher on the fucking apron? That's a bad idea. And of course it cost her, but yeah, she showed out. I mean, try to think of the performances by the women involved that really stood out to me. I mean, Soul, of course, is one of them. Who else really?
Lash.
Charlotte,
Lash.
of course, Rob's girl. Starts number one. Lash was a Jordan Grace started strong, then kind of just petered out.
Lola Vice had a good early spot.
Let me give some love to someone none of y'all
Yeah.
will say, and none of y'all probably give a fuck about. Kiana James showed that she's actually a
Yes.
really good wrestler.
Yeah, she really did.
Kiana James.
Kiana
Who
James
came in
was,
third? Who came in
Kiana
third?
James.
That was Kiana James. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking
white.
about yeah, and she had a great match on SmackDown too, right?
Kiana's a
let me
really
say-
good wrestler. It's just the character that she's in does
Well,
not
she's with
behoove
Julia
itself.
right now, right?
Right, but
Yeah,
I'm saying, but
she's-
even then, the character she has as the business magnate agent / person.
I thought the mention of Stardom and everything when you had Julia and Io and Asuka was really cool. I think the entrances were awesome. Let's just say that.
Let
They
me
were.
put this out here. My wife was watching some of the women's Rumble, and she goes, "Boy, they're all really covered up." I'm like, "Well, yeah, they're in Saudi Arabia." She goes, "I know, but still." I said, but I told her it's like they really did a good job with the outfits. Everybody looked distinct. They looked unique. Yeah, they were covered up. No one's showing any skin, but they really did a good job with the uniforms and the outfits and the things that the girls were wearing. So I think whoever was in charge of costume earned their paycheck for this event.
And before DP goes here, they've had plenty of years to try and perfect that too, right? They're getting in their groove that way.
they're getting better.
The amount of rhinestones that were left on the
Like
mat
a
after that was
rhinestone
ridiculous. But
cowboy.
to Ray's point a little earlier, though, the tag teams
Cowboy.
were very heavily showcased, and I thought that was awesome because I think Brie and Nikki Bella, if Brie's going to stick around for a little bit, they're probably going to retire as a tag team.
Yeah.
In a match or whatever. But between them showing up and the Judgment Day and whoever they kept showing off, Kabuki Warriors, they were all kind of standing off against each other there. I thought
Bayley
that was
and
awesome
Lyra,
because they really kind of
all
showcased the tag team division, which is what we've been begging for
Do you guys
the
wanna
women's
see,
side because they have
the
such
Bellas have a
opportunities there.
tag team run?
That's
The
what I'm
Bellas?
thinking. If Bree sticks
Sure.
around for a bit, they
Yeah.
can retire at WrestleMania or something maybe. But
six woman ladder match, 16 ladder
Let's
match
do
at
it.
WrestleMania.
Let's do it. Let's go.
How much do you think Brian Danielson cried tonight, knowing that the crowd remembered him? Because they
No,
didn't
not
just
at all.
acknowledge his
He
wife.
couldn't give a
Not
fuck.
at all.
Oh,
He
I
doesn't give
think
a
he
shit.
cared.
He does not give a fuck.
No,
He doesn't
I
give a
think
fuck.
if you read the MJF post
He doesn't give
and
a
you
fuck.
think about how
He
no,
doesn't give a
he
fuck.
cared about his wife,
He
what she
doesn't give
was
a fuck.
doing, and I think he cared that the fans remember. And
just
I don't.
kept going on with
Everywhere
his
Yeah,
Bree
just
compost
for
goes,
you
thing.
she
guys.
gets chance.
I just came on here to talk about what I wanted to talk about, and I feel like that was great, and I'm still gonna love it. And if you guys want to hate on it, me and the rest of the people listening will love that Daniel Bryan loved to have another moment in time in WWE tonight. Whether you guys want to acknowledge it or not, it happened. It happened more than once.
Brian Danielson has gone out of his way to shit on his time in WWE so
But
much.
he loved
that
what happened tonight for his wife and
Yeah,
the Saudi
for his
crowd
wife.
That's not what you
remembering.
yes.
said. That's
For
not what you
his
said,
wife.
though.
That is what I
Yes.
said. That's what I meant.
No, you said, well, Daniel Bryan probably cried tonight at
Because
the
he got
fact of
remembered.
being missed. No. He
Yeah.
doesn't give a fuck about
Oh, he
being
did.
remembered.
He loved it. He loved it. Every minute of it. Because
Everywhere
for him
he
and his
goes,
wife, it was great.
everybody does yes,
He was
yes.
like, "Oh,
You just
I'm
don't
Daniel
like
Bryan."
AEW.
Like,
He's
"Oh, I'm
loved
Daniel
over
Bryan
there.
again." Yes, yes. Where's
All right.
Kane?
All right, the Miller Lite is kicking in,
Thank
and
you.
it's a good time here.
Listen, I've been
Thank you.
podcasting since 11 this morning. Okay.
You know, well, you
I'm
did have
sorry.
to take 3.5 hours off in between that, but
I had to watch the Royal Rumble.
Tony, talk to me about AJ Styles and Gunther. AJ's final match in WWE. You know, we talked about earlier where we think he might go, but talk about the match itself. I thought, you know, AJ presented a different challenge than John Cena did to Gunther. Obviously, you know, there's a lot more in-ring skill, and the match was a very different sort of feel to it. Like, you know, Gunther never felt like he was dominating this thing. I mean, there are moments, but AJ really pushed him, and I, you know, and this one ended the way that I thought that the Cena match would end, and that's fine. So, but give me your thoughts on AJ Styles versus Gunther as Gunther retires the phenomenal one from WWE competition.
I messaged you briefly as and after AJ came out for this match. And
Yeah.
I said, unfortunately, AJ cannot help but have the look on his face that he does. If he doesn't lose, that was an Oscar worthy entrance. You could tell that he was coming out for his last WWE match. He had it written on his face. Um, it was really good. It was really good. I think the best part about it, and Ray already touched on it, is he didn't leave the gloves in the ring. So we're going to get the TNA run. And Gunther gets the notch that he deserves. Like, you don't start this story with Gunther and not keep it going, because Lesnar's next. And we speculated if Jericho is there, he could be the one after, and then down the line, maybe like a Randy Orton or something else like that. But I'm just
Yeah, I
thankful
don't.
we got AJ Styles when we did, because this run of 10 years is just unbelievable. Whatever, 10, 11
Yeah.
years, what he did, um, it's phenomenal, literally.
No pun intended. It was very phenomenal. Yeah, I don't know how Gunther is going to retire Brock. That's going to be a much different challenge. To good luck putting him in a sleeper hold and beating him down, Gunther. That's not going to work out so well. So you're going to have to come up with a different strategy. But Ray, your thoughts on this Gunther AJ Styles match and AJ's final hurrah in the WWE?
We can spend the least amount of time on this, unless we want to really give AJ's flowers, which I'd imagine we probably should do a show on its own about that. It was perfect in every way. Match was perfect. Gunther selling was perfect. The little bit of blood that wasn't from the head, but kind of gave a
It's from
little
his
bit of,
arm.
yeah,
It's
gave a
from
little
AJ's
bit
arm. Yeah.
gave a little bit extra oomph to it. Um, the fact that AJ didn't tap was chef's kiss, and I loved that he didn't go out the way everybody else goes out. Put the gloves on the mat, walk away, and you're a memory. He said, "No, fuck that. I'm here. I love y'all. I'm gonna celebrate with y'all one more time, and I'm gonna go out the way I want to go out." Reminds me of how Naomi didn't give the belt up. She took the belt with her and said, "Fuck y'all." Great
Yeah.
match. Everything was perfect. We can move on to all the other stuff because that
Yeah,
this one
I
this was
love
everything perfect.
I loved what AJ did when the match was over, and he actually was like, it was like basically like, was I out? And he's like, yeah, for how long? And long enough, you know, that sort of thing. You know, because he was asking the referee, you know, did I pass out and that sort of thing, and and the ref's like, it's over, AJ, it's done. You know, that I thought that was really well done, the way that they played that up, that AJ wasn't quite aware of what had happened. It's a consummate professional, great selling by AJ, and just immersive storytelling that they did at the end of that match. That was really well done. Tony, you got
That's
your
the
microphone
difference.
down.
That's the difference between Cena and AJ, though. Briefly, it was going to be done for Cena either way, so he might as well tap out. AJ was continuing to try to fight.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Great point.
and that's a good
Great
point.
point.
That's a great point. With Cena, it was win or lose. It was the end. With AJ, it was win or you're done. That sort of scenario. So that's a really good point. Dan, what do you think of the AJ Styles Gunther match? Is there anything else you want to comment on that we haven't already kind of touched bases on?
Yeah, you guys all pretty much nailed it. I don't. There's nothing more I really want to add that'd be different from what you guys said. It was fantastic, and I do. I'm on the same boat as PC. I feel like he's not necessarily done. That there's maybe another run in TNA here to finish out the year, but uh, the way to go out there for the WWE match was it was very well done, and the selling and the way that's the difference between a wrestler and a fucking legend is the way they sold that shit, and they did a great job.
Yeah, and I love what you just said there. There is a difference, and the matches were night and day. You compare AJ's match to Cena's last match, and like Tony was saying, there's a very good reason because Cena's was the last, no matter what. But the way they orchestrated, choreographed everything, put the match together, night and day sort of things. Let me ask you guys this: I tend to agree with you. I don't think, obviously, I don't think AJ's done because he didn't leave his gloves in the ring. I think Tony's probably onto something. You guys are onto something that there's at least some run in TNA. Would you be disappointed if he showed up in AEW on Wednesday night?
Immensely.
I know you cut your
Yes.
hair off, Ray.
Yeah, I would
Tony,
be that
would
shocked.
you be disappointed or would you just be like, whatever?
Side A is
Silent.
not going to be watching, so he won't know.
Ton-
Tony doesn't watch Dynamite anymore, so
Tony's video froze, yo.
I know. It's like exactly. It's a lot of side eyeing going on there. All right. Tony's not going to answer that question, so let's move on. Drew McIntyre retains the undisputed WWE Championship and I texted it to Tony when it happened, when it was over. I said emphatic. Um, that was an emphatic win for Drew against Sami Zayn. It's not Montreal, but it's his home away from home, Saudi Arabia. A lot of us were. Tony was like saying, if we said it this morning when we did the game gone wrong, Tony was like, if the match goes on last, Sammy wins. Well, it didn't go on last,
No,
so
it
we
didn't.
knew pretty well that he wasn't winning this thing. But I don't think any of us really expected Drew to just dominate like he did, and maybe we should have, because if you're going to be the one to dethrone Cody in a 3 stages of hell match, they are certainly playing you up as a really big deal. But Ray, I'll go to you first on this one. Were you surprised at how emphatic that win was for Drew McIntyre in that stadium, or
I'm
in that
surprised.
country, I should say?
I'm surprised. I'm disappointed. I'm upset. I am annoyed. I'm confused. I am everything you can imagine. I pride myself on being the type of wrestling fan that can understand anything and accept anything and give anything a chance. And I will give them into WrestleMania. And this is not me standing on some high horse about about my favorite wrestler and I didn't get what I want and all that shit. Fuck all that. You guys know me well enough to know I'm always story first. That's all that matters to me. That's all that matters to me is story first. If Sami Zayn doesn't win a world championship at WrestleMania, then he as a character is irreputably ruined. He will forever just be the fun guy in the mid card that we enjoy having good cool wrestling matches. But you are regularly you are Dolph Zigglering him to a way that may be even worse than Dolph, because Dolph won world titles. You are for my Japanese fans, you are Hiroki Gotoing him. And this is ironic because Goto finally won a goddamn world title after 20 fucking years. But you are making him the guy that's on the ride. I'm not even gonna say missing him because Miz has 2 world titles.
Mm-hmm.
You are essentially telling him and telling your audience that this guy does not matter to the absolute bottom line of the company. We like him. He's a good hand. He's important to us, but he is not a guy that we see any real money being drawn from because there is nothing left for him to do in this company but win a world title. And most importantly, where my most annoyance comes from, I wouldn't give a fuck about any of this as much as I do if you didn't fucking tease it on TV. Don't put shit on TV that you're not going to stand up with, that you're not gonna let come out and go and play out. That makes me want to pull my hair out because it's bad storytelling. This motherfucker's whole story, on air, on screen, in feuds, through promos, through backstage vignettes, through commentary, has been win a world title for 18 goddamn months. If he doesn't do it by WrestleMania, and I will give them that because that's the big show. Sammy's won big matches and big titles at the big show. I'll give them to a Mania. If you don't do it to a Mania, and this is at no behest of Drew, I love Drew as a world champion. He should have been a world champion. He should have been Cody the first time they fought. So this is not against him, any type of negative against him. This is just one of the biggest, this will be one of the biggest failures of Triple H's tenure. If they fuck up world champion main event Sami Zayn. And I'm over it. And I'm like that took me out of the show. I didn't give a fuck about the Royal Rumble anymore.
Let me throw this out to you. And I know Tunney and I, we haven't officially said this, but I think we've talked about it amongst ourselves. Got to remember where WrestleMania is next year. WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia next year. If you want to replicate the Cody Rhodes story with Sami Zayn, then this kind of does make sense for him to have such a big failure in this arena, in this country, if you're going to build up to him winning the Rumble next year and earning a shot against whoever in Saudi Arabia and finally breaking through in Saudi Arabia next year. Maybe they're going in that direction. I get your disappointment, Ray.
That's 3 years.
But we said the same thing about Cody.
3 years of around. No. We did not say the same thing about Cody. Cody won the Royal Rumble. Never lost a match. Won the Royal Rumble and lost his first title match.
Cody should have waited one title match. We should have got Rock and Roman that year.
Got you. Cody lost one title match his whole first year. Sammy has lost at least 10 title matches.
Well, Drew is 12-0 now against Sami Zayn. So there's a story being told there as well.
So lucky 13 at the next WrestleMania.
In Vegas, or I mean, unless you're going to somehow get okay.
Will be Saudi.
Saudi next WrestleMania in Saudi.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm saying if you could do it next year in Saudi and
I'm
put Sammy over there.
You know, I forgot that 43 was in Saudi, and then I'm like, yes, it's down there in the day. I don't have to wait till the nighttime. Yoo-hoo!
I mean, there is something to be said for this whole thing where it's like 4:00 out here on the West Coast. Like, this thing's been over for an hour now.
It's 6 o'clock here Central Time. We can hang out. It's not like 11:30, 12 at night where I'm like, I'm going to bed, dude. Oh, by the way, I fell asleep during the main event and I had to get up at 5 in the morning to watch it. You know,
watch it 3 more times just to get through the damn thing. DP, your thoughts on Drew McIntyre's relatively solid, emphatic win over Sami Zayn to retain the championship here today?
Yeah, didn't expect the dominant way he won that. I do like the idea of maybe they come back to it. If they're going to come back to it next year at WrestleMania in Saudi, it has to be Sami and Drew again. I mean, it has to if they're going to do it. Because I think we talked about it too at the last DWI. You know, if Sami doesn't win it here, then what? But I do like the fact that they made Drew look more like a dominant champion. Because it's hard too. Because he deserves it too. He deserves to have a good defense at a WrestleMania as well. I mean, he got the COVID era screwed him once, kind of a little bit, and then they did the one bit with CM Punk. You know, at the other next WrestleMania, 2 years ago. So him. I same as Ray. Like I love having Drew as champion too. And if you're going to give it to Sami, this is the only chance you're running on limited time here. But Drew as champion, I think is still great, and I don't think anything's going to change between that and WrestleMania. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, and if who ends up being facing him, at WrestleMania and things like that. So I like the fact that they did a dominant way for him to win it and make him look even more powerful going into the road to WrestleMania. I think that's a smart way to do it too. As much as I'm disappointed that Sami didn't win, because I did want to see that, and I thought that would have been a good way to close out the show too. But,
Well, and we may have a chance to come back to a thought about that as we go along. Tony, your thoughts on before we move to the men's Rumble match, your thoughts on Drew's win over Sami tonight?
It's funny. I could tell on AJ's entrance what was going to happen, and then immediately Drew like played off of it. Did you see what he did? Like wouldn't give the title to the ref, like kissed, like like, and Sammy came out like, okay, pull this together. Like they reversed it. They sold it as if it was gonna, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys pay attention
Right.
to the entrances like I do in these big title matches. Like you pay attention to like how these people come out, especially the greener ones. You can tell a lot of the time. You can tell whether they're winning or losing, right? Like it's this thing they need to learn, and they sold they played into it. They reverse psychology do, and I loved that part of the show. That was like my favorite part of the show, especially I think everybody was watching the AJ Styles match because they knew it was his last back in the back, so they had seen that, and I just thought that was awesome. I mean, I just had a good time tonight. I really did. And now we're here talking about it, and that's even better. And hopefully, whoever's listening or watching is having a good time with us now. And if you have a comment or question, just throw it out there wherever you're at listening. We'd love to hear from you.
Somebody's paying attention. It may not be us, but somebody's paying attention. No. Let's close this out. Let's go to the men's Royal Rumble match. Roman Reigns, the OTC, wins the Royal Rumble match, his second Royal Rumble victory. He will go on to WrestleMania to face the champion of his choosing. I thought I liked the men's Rumble match. Various aspects of it I thought were good. I loved, Obafemi was awesome in this match, absolutely dominant. The stuff with him and Brock in the latter part of the match was great. And you just get to see this is going to be a big showdown that's coming up at some point in time. There are a lot of places where I thought, this isn't so great. This is that. But once you got like to 20, Cody coming in at 11 was surprising to see him come in that early. He held it down for quite a bit. Javon Evans was a star this night. I mean, he looked fantastic until he got a little bit too bouncy and it cost him. That sort of thing. You had, Randy Orton comes in late. Roman came in at 21 or something like that, 22. He, you had stuff, him and Jey Uso had some fun stuff going on. Jacob Fatu comes in. Gunther comes in at 30. And it really seemed, and I know Tony and I were messaging quite a bit, it really seemed like Gunther was going to pull this double that's never been done before. I don't know if anybody's ever wrestled earlier on the card, then come back and won the Rumble. Well, Becky did, but that's true. She lost her title, then came back and won the Rumble. So there is that. But the man, but in the end, and they did a good job. I thought
it's not just us saying it, Dave, either. It's Bleacher Report and Sports Illustrated. Everybody saying it.
Everybody says she's the greatest of all time.
It's not just us saying it, Dave.
I know.
It's not just us.
I know. I thought the way that they having Gunther selling the leg injury and still being able, I love the final four in this match. It was Logan Paul, Gunther, Roman, and Orton.
Randy Orton.
Right? Yeah. I love the final four. I thought the finish felt a little bit rushed to me. They could have stretched that out a little bit. Gunther's the whole notion of trying to put Roman Reigns, the OTC, to sleep. I'm like, nah, man. When he started doing that, I'm like, that's not going to work against Roman. And
someday,
and it's just maybe someday. But you're talking. Roman's different. Roman is a different breed of animal.
We're gonna talk about 6:07 p.m. Central Time on the 31st of January, 2026 here in the future. That Gunther is going to put Roman Reigns to sleep someday.
Maybe. We'll see. Possibly. Probably.
God
but
damn it, Dave.
DP, let me go to you first. Your thoughts on the Royal Rumble match. Did they get the winner right? And not virtually no surprises other than Powerhouse Royce, whatever. What is his name? What was his name? Royce Keys. Okay. He was really the only kind of surprise that we had in this match. I mean, you can't say, somebody should say, if anybody says the AAA guys were surprises, I'm going to just say, shut the fuck up, because that's not a surprise. You knew that was coming.
La Parka was a surprise. Iguana was.
Who cares?
La Parka was a surprise.
I
that's
thought
not
at
fair.
first it was
Shit.
like
Hold-
Laparca, and I'm like, oh, it's the fourth iteration of Laparca.
You-
Okay,
but-
that's way
yeah.
better.
Hold on,
Like,
Dave.
I'd
You
still
can't
like
say,
him to come out and go, whoo, whoo, whoo.
you can't Dave. You can't criticize the lack of surprises in the same boat. There's a guy who was a legitimate surprise. You say, who cares? That's
The
unfair.
problem with the surprises,
who's
though,
that?
is we're in Saudi.
Not anymore.
The problem
Laparca?
that and the biggest problem with having the Rumble in Saudi is surprises. Like, you can't just like bring a billion people there. You know what I mean?
Well,
100%. But to me, a Rumble surprise is somebody that either wasn't advertised or wasn't expected to be there. Like perfect example. While we may have expected him, he wasn't advertised. LA Knight was a surprise.
yeah.
So
Him
technically,
coming
we
back.
had, like 30
Chad Gable
30
came back. Chad Gable came
Oh,
back.
that was
tonight.
No, the original Americano, Grande Americano. That was
But with-
fantastic.
Well, with
Yeah.
Mr. Iguana, we had for the first time ever 30 and one half entrants.
No, we've had a 40-man rumble before. Remember
No, 30 and
Alberto
one-
Del
First
Rio?
time
30
ever
and a half.
30 and one
Oh,
half
first time
entrants.
30 and one half.
I was
That's
really
true.
hoping the iguana was going to stick around for a little bit, and they were going to sell that a little more. That would have been a lot more fun.
But
And like he
then,
would have been the
like,
last thing in the ring, and he would have been
It
like
would have
the
took a
undeclared
second. That
winner.
would have been great if the
But-
Iguana
Don't
took second.
but
Right.
did y'all
Or what if the
did
Iguana won? You eliminated
ring.
himself over the top rope for fun.
did y'all catch the face off between Iguana and Damian Priest?
Yes.
Yes.
So for
Yes,
those
he
of you who
powered-
don't
there.
know,
choke slammed both of them.
for those of you who don't know, behind the scenes, Damian Priest and Lola Vice are really a couple. On screen, Lola Vice and Iguana are a couple. So that was a really fun kind of callback to that story, with Priest going off and double choke slamming Iguana
That's
and
fantastic.
Layezga.
Ray, are you
Ring
telling
the
me
bell.
that Damian
Ring the
Priest
bell.
has hooked up with Dad Ass? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, they've been together for a
Alright.
minute, bro. And
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a Christmas photo this year.
Okay.
it,
Holiday
boy,
photo in,
look,
in
I,
like PJs.
Well, and-
I don't know who I'm happier for.
The iguana?
Well,
The iguana.
Iguana gets to even touch Lola Vice, so he's good.
I'd say Damian Priest's Iguana is probably the most happy.
So-
there you go.
So,
Go ahead, Dan.
so
Yeah,
after
what's up,
getting
Josh?
spoiled of being the number one entrant, they moved him to number 2. And Braun Breaker gets
Oh.
beat up by who? Was that Finn? Was that supposed to be Finn? Was that supposed to be Seth Rollins?
Okay, so
It was
can
supposed to be Seth, but
Can I tell you what I told Dave? Can I tell them what I told you? I think my theory is.
No.
It's my literal theory.
Mm.
Seth brought in
Ah.
Austin Theory to sabotage the Vision while he's gone.
possibly.
There you go.
That was theory again.
That's possible. It also really could just be Seth because Seth fucked the shoulder up, not his foot.
Well, either way, it wasn't
Ah.
actually
Okay.
Seth.
But,
It didn't look like him. I was trying to look at
Yeah.
the mouth and the face, and it just. I thought that's why I thought maybe it was
some dude with a beard. That's all. That's about all you can say.
I thought maybe Finn, but I don't know. I don't know.
So what impressed you most about the Rumble, Dan? And yeah, they get the winner right in your opinion?
They did because that's who I picked. So
There you
yeah,
go.
I would say yes. They got the they got the winner right. But yeah, impressive wise, not a ton. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought having Obafemi, the way they set that up was really good because again, just like they did with Lash Legend in the women's, they did a great job with showing Obafemi off as like the next big thing in the men's division, and that's fantastic because he's just gonna light the world on fire. I think he's got such ridiculous talent, and then showing off as well Javon Evans and those opportunities. Just that makes things like, hey, we need to build some new stars. We talk a lot about that and showing these younger guys off here and having that face off with Brock Lesnar, and then the break, they got broken away and then they faced off again. Makes just that's good. That's good. I think that's good for wrestling and everything, just because they get that opportunity to get that face off, build that momentum, build that hype, and a guy like Obafemi is just going to tear the world down when they give him that opportunity. And so I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the way they did. Dave, you mentioned Gunther. I was going to say, when they everybody kind of expected, well, he's probably going to win it now that he's number 30, but they brought out that he started limping, and Michael Cole pointed that out, like he's limping, so they could easily sell the fact that he lost because he was already had the match and he was already hurt, and they can do that. And I'm on with me and Ray are in the same boats of this whole storytelling thing, and they do a good job on some of that with doing good storytelling and selling some of that stuff into the next phases and why some person doesn't win. And you can build, Gunther to have, we talked about maybe the retirement match with Brock Lesnar or something else that keeps him kind of away from the title picture for at least a couple months because they have other things going on, and he can still do that. I'm retiring Brock Lesnar, or continues that story until the next time he gets that title match. And so I think having Roman Reigns win that was perfect for me, I think. And however they end up getting to WrestleMania, whether it's him versus CM Punk or him versus Drew McIntyre, or potentially going somebody else winning the title in between this, may happen. So I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't many surprises, which I figured wasn't going to happen. But, we got Powerhouse Hobbs, which was cool. And otherwise, like, just the match itself I thought was really good.
Yeah, I liked it as well. Ray, did you switch your device or something? I got a weird error
No,
message
I'm
here.
working on my computer, and I guess it took too much of my.
Too much of your
Triple
your
threat.
stuff.
Memory, too much of my memory.
Ray, I know I get the impression you probably weren't that thrilled with the outcome of the Royal Rumble, the men's Rumble match. So why don't you talk about it real quick, man?
Yeah, so I enjoy a Rumble match that there's no favorite. Last year was one of my favorite Rumbles in recent memory, so that absolutely was fun. But there was no theme either. There was no arc. There was no point behind this Rumble, and that's I think what hurt it. Every good Rumble has some overarching theme. The, the one in Houston that Drew won, the overarching theme was Brock controlled it until it became chaos, right? Last year was Cena's last Rumble. Who's going to be able to take away the guy's last chance to make main event WrestleMania? Like you have these themes. Even this year's themes with the women was the tag teams. Are they going to break up? Or are they going to help each other? Are they going to split up? Like there's a theme. This theme was just throw these motherfuckers in the ring and see what happens. And the one possible thing they could have had, Gunther, I think it would have been probably too much for the fans for him to win that too. But, and I feel blasphemous saying this because you guys know that I serve at the pleasure and I sit at the table that my tribal chief's done set for me. I don't like it. I don't like Roman winning. I don't like it because there is no match that is sensible, that is feasible, or that is interesting for him. And thank you, DP, in the main event. So we know. I don't say we know. I am damn sure we're getting Punk Gunther. That's the only thing that makes sense, unless you just want to say fuck storytelling again. But let's take that off the table and we just go on WWE World Title, WWE title picture. Right now, Drew McIntyre is a champion. I don't think anybody's interested in Drew versus Roman at this point, although it could be fun. But we've seen that at
We've
WrestleMania
seen
before.
that. We've
It's
seen it
happened,
at
right?
WrestleMania. We've seen it at Clash of the Castle.
Many times.
Why would we want to see that again?
So the one thing that scares me, mind you, that means we got to say fuck Cody Rhodes. Well, hold Cody Rhodes for a second. Fuck Jacob Fatu. Fuck Drew McIntyre. Fuck Sami Zayn. What I'm scared of is that they're gonna find a way to fuck around, take the title off of Drew, put it back on Cody. We do Cody Roman 3 flipped with Cody as champion and Roman as the challenger, which makes two things for me. One, fuck the fan base because they don't want that shit right now. And two, most importantly, then why in the periwinkle, robin's egg, turquoise blue fuck did you take the title off of Cody in the first fucking place? If this was the goal, it helps nobody. So that now Elimination Chamber can change everything. We could have a salient, fantastic story that they may do. And I give them grace. I am a person that gives grace. It don't make no sense to me right now. And that way, and because of that, I'm disappointed.
Tony, let's get ready to wrap this up so we can get Ray out of here. Well,
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
us out
gotta
of here,
go.
actually. Uh, what are your thoughts on the Rumble match, Ray? Tony?
We've been talking about Cody Roman 3. It's happening. They're gonna get there some weird way. They've been getting to the culmination of WrestleMania some weird way for a while now.
Well,
Have
they
they
sure
not?
teased the shit out of a Roman Cody, and they never really locked up tonight.
I
They
mean,
teased the shit out of it.
there's just it, let's put it this way. We're gonna enjoy it, but it's gonna be a sloppy mess.
Yeah, personally, I think we're getting Roman Punk at WrestleMania, but that's just me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But he's not.
Fatal four
Yeah.
way.
I think we're gonna
God.
get a 6-man sack race on consecutive Sundays until a winner is determined.
I'm down with that. Ray, would you be okay with a 6-man sack?
You're excited. Feel these nipples.
Exactly. See, Ray's ready for it. All right, guys. I think that's good for now. It's about an hour in here. We just wanted to jump on real quick, and it's Ray Catch, Watch Bandwagon Nerds. Well, don't leave yet, Ray, because your
I gotta go.
upload will.
I'm way
Gotta
later.
go. I'll
If
pimp
I
your
if
shit.
I
I
don't
got you,
go
brother.
right
Be
now,
good.
I'm
See you
I'm
tomorrow
gonna be
for
late.
Cashamania. Peace out.
Cashamania. Um, well, hopefully Ray's stuff comes through. I don't know if it will. or
It'll
not,
be fine.
But we'll find.
I-
We'll find it. We'll figure it
I-
out.
Diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo.
Um, well, yeah, we are live, so I don't have to worry about that.
We're live, brother.
We're live, brother. That's right. I forgot the live stream. So
'Cause I'm
yeah,
half the man
I
that
guess
you are. What?
I guess with Ray gone, we don't have to worry about jumping out of here. But let's go in. It's got to be Liv versus Steph, right? I mean, Liv's going to challenge Stephanie Vicker. She's not going to challenge Jade because we got to get through Jade and either Jordan Grace or Bianca Belair. Liv challenging Jade makes no goddamn sense, which is probably why they'll do it. But I got to figure it's going to be Liv versus Stephanie Vicker at WrestleMania. I don't know how you keep Rhea out of any of this shit. I mean, unless Rhea's going to earn the shot at Jade in the Elimination Chamber or something. I don't know, but let me go to you first, honey. I'm guessing Liv challenges Stephanie Vicker, but who knows?
I'm more interested to see the fallout between her and Raquel, right? Like that was the biggest that was the biggest elimination of the night. Right? Like that was the
Yeah.
biggest let's talk about
Well,
an
that
elimination of the night.
Raquel eliminating Rhea was like, oh,
No,
okay.
but like Raquel and Liv were supposed to be like, hey, until we're the last two, right? And then the smile she gave, and we talk about Judgment Day and whether or not where the implosion was going to come from, and I think Ray might have been right on DWI. It's with the women and not on the other side. So with Finn and Dom, they're not going to wait for it. But man, Ray had called it too. He talked about Liv winning this. I thought that was the biggest elimination of the night.
Yeah. Once Bianca didn't show up, I was like, Liv's got to be the favorite.
I know, and I was sitting there, and then we got
But-
to 30,
but I
and I'm
gotta
like,
say,
fifth
at
is
the-
left, and I'm like, damn it, she's just
Yeah,
not ready. She's just not
at
there
the
yet,
end,
or something's
I
going on.
was at the end. I started thinking Tiff, but they got it right. I think Liv winning is the right call there. DP, what do you think there, man?
It makes a whole lot of sense, and I picked Liv as well too because of this whole thing with the Judgment Day, and you got Raquel and Stephanie Vicker going on Raw for the title too coming up here, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out too. Because I don't expect Raquel to win, but is Liv going to interfere in that match and make something happen to make some kind of dusty finish or something, and continue that story of the Judgment Day breaking up potentially between the women's side, or not having and then not having Rhea Ripley in the title picture at Mania would be really weird unless they're going to go with some kind of fatal four-way somehow,
Well, they still got
some
the
way.
tag titles, right?
Yeah, and I think they got a good opportunity with, again, building that tag title division with the Bellas and Rhea and Io and Charlotte and Alexa potentially their weird
We got
potential
to touch
breakup
on this,
too.
and it's insignificant, but like, how awesome is it that we had a moment where Asuka, who is so underappreciated, had her moment of her career moment. I mean, that was great.
Grabbing
Right?
her by the
Getting-
hair and all this other
Getting
shit.
eliminated
yeah.
by her own tag team partner. Yeah. Just fantastic.
fun.
And yeah, I love that. And I think if Bianca is going to come back, I think I had said too that Elimination Chamber would be the better place too, because that's kind of where all of that happened too, with Jade
Yeah.
returning the year ago and setting all that in motion with Naomi. So I mean, I think Bianca winning the Elimination Chamber and going to face Jade at Mania could still happen. And Liv Morgan's going to go after the other title, whoever it may end up being, if it's still going to be Stephanie Vaquer or if they decide to do some kind of something else weird. But I do think that's the path, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you could get a situation where Liv helps Raquel beat Stephanie for the title, and it's the Judgment Day members facing each other at WrestleMania. I wouldn't hate it, but I don't know if Raquel is the person you put in that spot. I mean, she's getting better, but it's still a really big spot for her at that point in time. On the men's side, though, we're not getting Roman versus Drew. That makes no goddamn sense at all. So you got to say Roman versus Punk. And honestly, I'm not mad at that match. If we're going to get Roman versus Punk for the championship, there's a lot of built-in history there. There's the whole Paul Heyman factor from a year ago. This has been building between these guys for quite some time. And Roman reclaiming the championship by beating CM Punk is probably going to be easier for some people to digest than him beating Cody. But I do, like Tony said, you're going to have to you tease the shit out of Roman Cody 3 in this entire Royal Rumble. Things have been building between them. How do you not, unless you're going to do the triple threat that we did last year and have it Roman, Cody, and Punk this year? I don't know, man.
Do you make Roman declare immediately though? Right? Like, there's years where it's been like, okay, it's Monday, and it's Friday now, the first Monday, the first Friday, whatever. Like, you need to come out and do. And then there's been years where it's been like, I'm gonna wait. Elimination Chamber's coming up. Well, I'll wait until then. I'll let you know that. Is it one of those years? Because we've had those.
He could wait. The problem is,
because that's how you could get to the other side, right?
Well, if you go to Elimination Chamber, you got to know what title you're challenging for, right? I mean, that's the problem.
They just say, well, we'll see. I don't know.
I guess you could.
He's the only one declaring. He's the only. Yeah. It's not like the other side has already been declared for some.
Usually, the elimination
there's no entitlement
winner goes
anywhere else.
The other title.
There's only one entitlement.
I mean, would it be? How interesting would it be? How interesting would it be if they went into Elimination Chamber and Roman's like, I haven't declared anything yet. So all you know about the Elimination Chamber matches, whoever wins gets the championship that Roman doesn't go after.
Well, no, it would just mean that you get to defend that title at WrestleMania, just like the other champion.
But
and then
I'm saying that whoever wins an Elimination Chamber goes against the champion. They don't defend the title in the chamber match.
Well, not necessarily if the title is defended.
Well, I mean, that's true.
We've done that plenty of times. The opposite title, because if they have an early declaration, the other title is usually defended at the Elimination Chamber.
Or it's the number one contender for that. I don't know.
Right. One or the other.
I don't know.
It's tough because is it going to be, or, it's been a while, I think. They've done it before, but does Roman say, I want to take my title match at the Elimination Chamber rather than WrestleMania? And he wins it there, and Cody wins the Elimination Chamber. And now here's Cody and Roman.
I mean, this is Roman. He's at WrestleMania. This is why he's here.
He's still going to get WrestleMania main event.
Well, yeah. But I mean, and I think we had said that a couple times, Tony and DP. I think we talked about it on the Swaggies.
Roman won't have a match until WrestleMania.
Well, that's what somebody was saying. Like, were you the guys listening to the post show when they were downstairs talking about Roman winning, and they're all like, "We're so back. It's going to be great seeing the OTC every week leading into WrestleMania." I'm like, you're not seeing him every fucking week. You'll be lucky to see him
Brock
3
Lesnar was
times.
champion.
I mean,
3 times between now and WrestleMania.
I think you'll see him plenty. You might see him in a multi-man match, but you won't be in a singles match until WrestleMania. I don't think.
No,
Probably never. He probably won't have a single match until then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean WrestleMania.
I could see him in a match.
Roman's at the point now where he's like,
Usos and whoever leading into it or something.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, overall it was a good show. I mean, it wasn't great. There's some real holes in WWE storytelling right now.
I want to just talk about
present for a
firstly
while.
before I forget. Dan, I totally refute your gripe about the varied times of the Royal Rumbles. I don't care. I liked it better, honestly. Like this is not me being, this isn't a bit. This is, and I'm not mad, but I'm just saying,
He's just drunk, folks.
oh, fuck yeah. I like the, dude, you're lucky I came on here. I changed my hat and everything. I gotta go to hats.
I gotta tell me to change your underwear.
I'm not even wearing underwear, bitch.
Nice.
I went to Hats Live because I got a 7 head. It hangs around just like Dave. You look distinguished. I look like I need a haircut when I don't, Anyway, but I thought it was a great Royal Rumble. I really liked it. I really did.
I don't necessarily have an issue with the timing. It just was odd that it was happening, and I caught it, and I wasn't expecting it. I guess because I don't
but
necessarily.
It's like, hey, go out there. You got 90 seconds. Or wait, let you do your art, and if it takes a little longer, that's fine because they're not restricted the way they used to be. No. And I don't even know how they were restricted before. Like when they were doing a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view should be even better.
Were they really restricted to those 3 hours? They couldn't go past it? Like, I get TV.
Remember the 95 TV. Rumble with the 1 minute intervals and how shitty that was?
Like, what are you doing? Like, this makes more sense. It just felt more natural to me.
Before I let you guys, I do want to ask you guys one thing, because Tony, you'd mentioned it to me while we were talking. Because this show lasted 4 hours, and is it time to think about a 2-night Royal Rumble? You guys indicated that there's some issues with doing a 2-night Rumble.
Did you see that? Did you see Dan's face?
What is the objection? What is the objection to doing a 2-night Rumble? What are your guys' concerns about that?
No objection.
But there's obstacles, right, Dan? We talked about this. We talked about this 3-4 weeks ago.
Tell me the obstacles.
Okay, so like you'd assume right away that you'd have the women's Rumble finish night 1 and the men's Rumble finish night 2, right?
Or vice versa, depending on.
Right.
I mean, you could mix and match.
Let's just be realistic about it, okay?
Yes.
Let's just be realistic about it.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not trying to be sexist or belittle anything. I'm just talking about the truth of the history and everything
else. Before you go any further, let us be honest. We were always honest on this show. The women's Royal Rumble match is not as well performed as the men's is.
I thought it was better this year.
Did you?
Yeah. I enjoyed it much more than the men's. I thought Lash Legend was the MVP of both Royal Rumbles.
I'm not talking about story. I'm talking about in-ring performance. The women ever since the first one, I remember the very first one.
The women's Royal Rumble was better than the men's Royal Rumble this year.
Okay. That's cool. Go ahead. Now tell me the obstacles.
Okay, so let's just say this year the women's Royal Rumble is on night 1 and the men's Royal Rumble is on night 2.
Okay.
What else do you book for each night?
Well, you have more flexibility. I mean, you could still have.
Do you?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
If you've got a Royal Rumble match going on, and let's say you got AJ versus Gunther, you could have kept that, right?
Sure.
You could have.
What night do you put that on?
Night 1.
Okay, so then Gunther can wrestle on night 2, right?
Yeah, and then it's a little different storytelling, right? Then you move Drew and Sammy to night 2. Could have had I mean, look at the people who aren't on the card. It's a big 4 pay-per-view, big 5, big 6, whatever you want to call it. CM Punk is doing the pre-show. You know, he could have wrestled. He could have defended the title on one of these nights. Neither of the women's championships were defended. You never even saw Stephanie Vaquer or Jade Cargill at the Royal Rumble. And I understand it's Saudi Arabia and that creates its own obstacles. So this isn't the best year to use as an example. But you could have had the Usos defending the tag titles. You know, who else is the other tag team? Oh, the MFTs are the other tag team champions. Julia could have defended the title. Becky could have done. I'm just saying there's options and things you could have done to fill out the cards on each night rather than sit there and just cram. 4 matches is plenty because it's got 2 of them taking an hour or more each.
So the problem is overexposure, 2 nights for stars, right? And then automatically you're at a disadvantage for any star who's wrestled and then has to go into a Royal Rumble. Like we've seen with Gunther, even if you're 30th, you're at a disadvantage, right? So it's kind of like it's more of a storytelling problem than anything else. I don't, money-wise, it makes sense. But I think the way it works best is if night 1's a women's night and night 2's a men's night. And if the women's story is more important than the men's, whatever is more important, then we flip it. But I think it's strictly one and the other.
Well, here's the flip side of that. And Dan, you jump in here on this one is if you do split it up into 2 nights, then you give each Royal Rumble separate booking, separate attention. You segregate it out and each one gets its own isolated views instead of like trying to put them both on the same night. Which kind of takes away from each one at the same time.
They would main event each night.
Yeah. They definitely should. They should main event each night. And yeah, the issue comes in with who do you put in the undercards, you know, because you have either way, if you're going to do it, then yeah, it looks like one night would be all women's and the other night would be all men's or whatever. And that's...
Dude, and that's a great point, Dan. And I don't know if you meant to make it that way, but like do it like night 1 is almost like mini Evolution, right? Where you have like all women. And it's just the women's Rumble.
I just said that 2 minutes ago.
Did you? Okay.
You son of a biscuit.
No, I mean I'm just saying like if you had like
that's my whole point.
Okay. Then I agree with you in a roundabout sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where you have part of the problem is where like do you do it then with all women's event on one night and then all men's on the other night, or you try and split up the undercards? It makes it very difficult.
It does give them an opportunity to tell, you know, to kind of really tell. And I know, and like I know, Tony, you were saying this isn't about being sexist or any of that sort of stuff, but see, I was listening. But it's kind of like at the same time, it's like maybe you go in that direction. You know, maybe it'd be kind of cool to have like one night of the Rumble devoted all to the women and have the second night devoted all to the men, and you get that dynamic. Like we talked about, like a lot of us had Evolution as our PLE of the event at the Swaggies this last time out. You know, maybe that'd be some cool storytelling you could do to make something sort of different. I mean, to me, my opinion, and this, when SummerSlam first got moved to 2 nights, you know this, we talked about it. I said, I don't know why SummerSlam's getting the 2-night treatment rather than the Rumble, because the Rumble's set up better for a 2-night event than SummerSlam is.
Yeah, but the SummerSlam gives WWE a polar opposite, right, to drive towards. They give them 2 points to work towards equally, as opposed to, hey, we're working to WrestleMania, but, you know, 3 months beforehand, we got to stop. That pushes it into, you know, the stratosphere. That's why they made King of the Ring, you know, the #1 contenders for SummerSlam, because they want to build that summer event, put it at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, you're right. And I think, honestly, when you're talking about money, which is what you're talking about money, which is what this is all about, you could easily move the Royal Rumble to 2 nights. You could move Survivor Series to 2 nights and do men's War Games one night, women's the next night, and do the same sort of. Now, I understand there's a lot of problems because of the way Survivor Series is perceived, although War Games is working to fix some of that. I think we would all agree that it has got better since they introduced the War Games matches into this thing, and it feels more like Survivor Series used to be. At the end of the day, if they're going to make a lot of money off of this 2-night format, You're going to see all these major events are going to shift to 2 nights within, I'd say, the next 3 years, that sort of thing.
But where do you
It's
stop?
inevitable.
Where do you stop? Do you stop
Well-
at Money in the Bank and King of the Ring? Because that's next
tough.
after this.
Yeah,
then.
Money in the Bank. I mean,
Yeah,
King of the
Bank
Ring,
would
they're
be the
still toying with.
Chance.
Elimination Chamber. So okay, so now you got half of them are 2 nights. Now that's 6. What's after
Yeah,
that?
that's
Thanks.
tough. At some point, you got to
Raw's
sit there
now
and say,
Raw's 8 hours on Netflix
"Fuck."
every Monday.
No,
Tune
it's
in.
a good.
Monday and
That
Tuesday.
that is the
Tune
biggest.
in.
That's the biggest.
If you're awake,
that
it's
is the-
probably on.
Yeah, that's the biggest obstacle to me. Is like you're saying, where do you start? If you start doing all this 2-night stuff, then where do we draw the line and say this one gets it, that one doesn't? I don't know, but
If we need to
I
make-
do think the
I hope they stop
I
at
would-
SummerSlam.
Look, if we need to make one change, the first change we need to make, if anything, is during this Royal Rumble, they had the nice ticker at the bottom, a little bit of showing who was active and who was eliminated or
How many
whatever.
left? Yeah.
All right, and then once in a while they would show like, oh, the names of the people who are left. All right, what we need to change is make the ticker scrolling across the board at the bottom that just shows every single entrant, the number they were entered. Keep going, one to like kind of like NASCAR, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Show those numbers and have it going across the bottom and showing the time that they've been in the Rumble. And once they've eliminated, you highlight it red and you stop their number at that whatever time it is, and you just keep that scroll going so you can know who's still in, who's been eliminated, and how long they've been there.
Sure. Like, yeah, you gotta have
That's
like
what I
a
wanna see.
sidebar, some sidebar showing
like
all that
that.
kind of
Just
stuff.
shows
like
the ticker.
Like, pardon the interruption, the rundown and sort of thing. Like showing people who got in
But
when they got
let's not.
eliminated.
Yeah, at some point though, I don't need like my screen being only a third the actual
saying.
match. Like I think it's appropriate
bottom.
now. That's fine. I don't need a quarter side panel though.
I don't need a
the
big
cha-
screen saying who's active, who's eliminated, what numbers next, because I can do the math.
Sure.
Show me the numbers of the entrants,
Well, you can.
Show
when
me
they
the
were
money.
entered,
Show me
and the
money.
time they've been in, the whole time. What
Did
time?
you know
How
the
long they've
human
been
head
going?
Weighs 8 pounds.
Should- Keep it going.
All right, guys. I think I've occupied your guys' time enough today, especially Tony. But DP, thrilled to see you come on here. That was a great surprise. Thank you so much for talking the Royal Rumble with us, man. Let people know, where can they check you out on social media if they want science tips. I've been debating people about science all day, and I'm just like, yeah, shut the hell up already. But fuck. It's like, I'm not a scientist. I'm going to wait for all the scientists to weigh in on this before I render my judgment. That's what lawyers do, is render judgment and argue for judgment. But anyway, Dan, where can people check you out on social media?
I try not to put my scientific knowledge into unidentified flying objects or anything like that. So we keep it to math. So you can find me all over the worldwide social media interwebs. And it's me, DPP. And if you want to listen to me somewhere else, I'm also on the DWI podcast. You can follow that on the X at podcast DWI or facebook.com/DWI podcast.
I would never ask you for the math up behind UFOs and UAPs, but I will ask you, do you believe in them? Or do you think it's all
42?
bullshit?
I think it's 42 at the math.
Do you believe in them? Is it real or is it all nonsense?
42, you asshole.
I don't know if I should weigh in just yet. Maybe I'll join an episode and talk about it. huh?
Yes. I would
Yeah,
love
good
for
luck
you to
with
be
that,
on
Dave. Good luck.
one.
Just be happy
always-
Just be happy you got to talk to him tonight, brother.
I am thrilled
Yeah,
I
brother.
got to talk to him tonight. I'll send an actual
Yeah,
snail
brother.
mail to the I'll send snail mail to the Dillinator. Say, can I borrow your husband for one?
You'd be
night?"
more likely to get the Dillinator on an episode of Unidentified History, to be honest with you. DP, maybe you should tip her off to go to attitudeofaggression.com and check out the Unidentified History section of attitudeofaggression.com and check out what we're doing over there, because she, along with others interested in, aerial phenomenons that are going on, might have a really good time right there at
Especially those of the
attitudeofaggression.com.
especially those aerial phenomena, especially those of the unidentified stuff. The
Oh,
other
I-
stuff.
Got a lot of
I'm
Harry
working on it.
Vanderspiegels around there.
I thought I
Yeah.
did a really good job, Dave, for the day I've had.
Well, I tell you what, let's put that to the test, honey. Where can people check you out on social media and let people know about Ray Cash?
Oh, follow him at REY as in Mysterio, CASH as in dollar signs, And you can follow me at PC Tunney. Don't forget about thechairshot.com, prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot. Yeah. Chairshot Radio Network, all your favorite streaming platforms, and DP and I, another great day at the golf simulator. We're just whacking balls all over the place, Dave. That's what we
I
do.
don't want to hear about what you're whacking, okay?
Takes
But
a lot
I
of
appreciate...
it takes a lot of balls to golf the way I do.
DP almost had a hole in one today. Or like you almost had an eagle. One of the shots almost went in. I thought
It was an eagle, but it was an eagle.
Okay.
It was an
Yeah,
eagle.
but it was
I
right.
don't know.
I was like, it was one of those moments like, oh.
I thought
Damn
DP
it.
was going to say it takes a lot of balls to whack off the way that I do, but it didn't go there. So that's good. That's good. As for me, you can check me out on social media, on X at AttitudeAg. That is at AttitudeAGG. You can go to facebook.com/Attitude of Aggression. Hit the like button there. Like Teddy said, go to the website, attitudeofaggression.com. Check out the YouTube channel, Attitude of Aggression. All that fun stuff there. We will return. Teddy, I guess we're gonna have to go back to the Big Five project as soon as we figure out where to watch Bash at the Beach '96.
We got so much shit going on, Dave. We'll be
dude,
live with
dude.
something interesting for you, and I'll be less drunk than I am tonight. So there you go.
No promises, though. No promises about
No
that. Kid.
promises. Like I've been just hanging out all day. Like man, it's a long Royal Rumble. I waited. I actually waited until I did not drink for the women's Royal Rumble. I waited until after that. Yeah.
Samesies.
Oh, samesies. Yeah, Dan probably didn't go as hardcore as I did after that, but
That's all right. I appreciate you guys coming on with me. It's our first time we did like a live reaction show here on the Attitude of Aggression to Anything. Good times. I'm sure we'll be back maybe after Elimination Chamber when we figure out exactly what the hell's going on. That'll be good stuff. But until next time, guys, we're going to cut out of here. For you wrestling fans watching at home and you watch the Royal Rumble, all I got to say is stay aggressive. Do it with attitude. We will catch you soon for another edition of Attitude of Aggression Wrestling Podcast. You guys take care. We will talk to you soon.